Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for being here. I'm John Sayles, I'm the CEO of the food bank, and I think I've chatted with a bunch of you already and told you how excited we are to be in Rutland today and for the future. So let's give a big hand to Rutland. I would like to say special thanks to the Vermont Country Store, who's the presenter of this event, and thank you so much. Great partnership, and we're really looking forward to partnering even more closely now that we're down in your neck of the woods physically. And also, Same Son of Vermont, thank you. I got some folks here. We really appreciate your sponsorship for this. And everybody, all our network partners, we have Comcast here, a great partner, and we have some brochures of a low-income internet access program, so pick some of those up. And here's the mayor. Great. I'm not going to talk a lot. This is a great space. We're very excited to be here. If you look behind, I pointed out to some people there's some tape on the floor. That's going to be our 30-foot by 60-foot produce cooler. We're going to have a repacking room. We're going to have this racking up. There's going to be a lot of food here. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for volunteers. I was talking to some friends from the hospital, and we're really excited to have them as partners in here, and our network partners. That's really what this is all about. It's about making more food available for all of our neighbors. And we're so excited to have the ability to come down to Rutland here and have all of our network partners be able to come here, pick up food, get more fresh food, and get it to our neighbors who need it. We know there's, we're in the Rutland Plywood Building, and they had a really tragic fire recently, and it affected a lot of our neighbors. It couldn't be better timing for us to be here. We've been working on this for years, very excited. And the mayor is here now, so I want to introduce newly re-elected Mayor Chris Louras. Welcome. I've been actually talking to Chris for a while here about getting us to Rutland, and I'm excited to finally be here and to have you here. And please say a few words.
Thanks. And John speaks the truth for, boy, it's probably been more than a year and a half now, but it feels like a year and a half. It's probably one of those things where it's actually been 3, where we've been having conversations with the food bank to try to get a permanent location in Rutland rather than a location where the trucks would come in, change, drop off. Because the reality is that everything that's here, that's going to be packed today, is desperately needed throughout the community. And the work of the Vermont Food Bank really needs to have and needed to have a location here in Rutland to best serve the community that so desperately needs it. So I hadn't been able to be in this site yet. I wasn't able to make it down in any previous ones because I was out of town. But I'm really excited as I'll get out to be here today and to have the food bank here permanently in Rutland, this location. And thank you for showing up today, because as John said, Rutland has really become recognized throughout the state in partnerships, collaboration, and that's frankly what this is all about today, is making sure the community is best served by groups that normally don't work together, and for the community. We have broken down silos, have broken down barriers between groups to positively affect those in need. So thank you for being here today, and thank you, John, for everything you do.
Thank you. You know, our biggest partner in fighting hunger is the federal government, believe it or not. The first line against hunger is 3 Squares Vermont, food stamps. It is the way people should be getting food, is to be able to go to the grocery store and buy what they need for their families. But we also, as the food bank, get a lot of food from the federal government through several programs, and it has been the support, wonderful support of our federal delegation that Senator Leahy, Senator Sanders, Representative Welch. You know, I always say when something's happening at the federal level, we're always in touch with our delegation. We're talking to all the time, and we have a national organization, Feeding America, that has a DC office. And when I call our delegation's offices, you know, there's a sign-on letter or this bill's coming, and they're way ahead of us already. Oh yeah, we're already on that. We're doing that. And by the way, we're doing this thing coming up. Can you help us with that? So they are there doing what needs to be done in DC to make sure that everybody in this state has enough food to eat so that we can be productive and great citizens. And I want to introduce Kate Ash, who's here from Senator Leahy's office. We're trying to get the senator here, and we got Kate, which is a very good second choice. So, thank you, Kate.
I think I have to lower the microphone a little. Good morning. Thank you, John, for the introduction. As John said, I'm here on behalf of Senator Leahy, and I work on issues related to nutrition, hunger, human services, and I'm fortunate enough and certainly challenged to be here on behalf of the senator and work with our colleagues and the rest of the delegation and all of you throughout the state on really the social, the safety net, so to speak, for some of our more vulnerable Vermonters, and that's really why we're here today. So I'll be brief because I know we want to get to the intent behind this wonderful day. But first of all, just a big thank you to the Vermont Foodbank for the introduction, the Vermont Country Store for the sponsorship, and I'll just briefly say, you know, I was kind of looking back at some of Senator Leahy's historic advocacy on behalf of nutrition, and I was reminded back in the 90s with one of the distribution centers with an ice storm, and one of the roofs caved in. And one of the things that he has constantly been reminded of is his advocacy, not only on behalf of TFAP and 3 Squares Vermont and the SNAP program down in Washington, but also for securing funding for buildings and for the structure and the bricks and mortar. But that's become more and more difficult, and that's why the celebration for today and the recognition of being able to have a third site like this in Vermont is so important. So it's a huge bit of recognition for all of the work that you folks are doing. And I'll just briefly say, too, that we know that this is a really challenging time in Congress. And to have the community come together and support a location like this, and to have the evidence of the progress, the evidence of the success that these programs have, sites like this have, and leadership in our communities and our state in a place like Vermont really does make all the difference. So a big thank you to all of you for committing yourselves to today and for your advocacy on behalf of hungry Vermonters every day.
Thank you, Kate, and without further ado, let's get packing.